remember the first time I walked into this building, fresh out of college, teaching certificate in hand, and all nerves wearing a suit and tie. I've done a lot since then, held a lot of positions right in this school. But man, that first day, on the way to my first class, an administrator shared something with me that I remember to this day. It was a quote from C.S. Lewis. The task of the modern educator is not to cut down jungles, but to irrigate deserts. He said that as teachers, we need to make the ground fertile for learning. And that's always stayed with me. I guess that's because the task of educating our children, shaping them for successful, productive lives, is so important. If you think about it, all of us, the people who help teach kids, who help protect them, who coach and counsel and interact with them on a daily basis, have a unique opportunity to make a difference at a fundamental time in their lives, and in ways that aren't always obvious. Research and experience tells us that young people share an interest in exploring dating relationships. For many, it's part of growing up. But we also know that these same kids often haven't developed the critical skills needed to help them think through some of the decisions they make and manage the wide range of emotions they experience. Plus, they don't have a lot of real-life experience to help guide them. Sometimes this can lead to problems, controlling behaviors, aggressive actions, and even physical violence. We've all seen behaviors that make us uncomfortable. But what can we do about it? As it turns out, a lot. I'd like to share with you what I've learned about helping to prevent teen dating violence. You see, the fertile ground I mentioned extends to promoting the development of healthy relationships for these young people because it's such an important part of their lives. At school, the classroom is not confined to four walls, and teachable moments are not limited to lesson plans. Teens are observing and learning far more than just what's in their textbooks. Opportunities are everywhere to redirect, empower, and help them make healthy choices about how they communicate and connect. Now, if you commit the time and stick with me through these modules, here's what you'll learn. When you finish this course, you will be able to understand more about teen dating violence and how to recognize it in all its forms. You'll also learn how this issue affects young people and why we should be concerned about its lasting impact on their lives, peers, families, and communities. We'll look to the relationship dynamics of a few teen couples and talk about how to notice when things are going wrong and when things are going right. We'll discuss risk factors, protective factors, and reasons why it might be difficult for some teens to seek help. And ultimately, we'll identify ways you can be a resource for young people regarding building healthy relationships and preventing unhealthy and violent ones. Now, I realize that's a lot of information, but it will help you and others you work with to develop skills that empower you to take action when, if, and as needed. So let's get started by looking back at a time of rapid growth and mystery in our lives that we can now see from an adult perspective. During adolescence, young people are changing emotionally, mentally, and physically. Struggles are to be expected. Giving them room to develop independence is important during this process. But it's also our job as adults to make sure this time of exploration and discovery remains safe and productive. And we're not alone in that responsibility. We're one of many connections in a teen's life that will influence how he or she views and approaches relationships.